Ladies and gentlemen, if you could get seated or in place or whatever you might feel comfortable with. I know it's rare to get together in person and we're all tempted to like chat and catch up, but this is a beautiful day and we want to seize the moment. All right, I think we're ready. So, welcome everybody. Good morning. And thank you for joining us today to celebrate a momentous occasion, breaking ground at Lift Every Voice and Sing Park in La Villa. I'm Mari Kuraishi, and I'm the president of the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund. It's my honor to welcome you on behalf of the many partners whose collaboration, generosity, and perseverance has made this day possible. The DuPont Fund has been working very closely with the City of Jacksonville, the Durkeeville Historical Society, La Villa institutions, including the Ritz Theater, Museum, the Jackson Magazine, many of you here today, and those watching virtually, to bring to life the vision of the park. It's only fitting that we're celebrating this first phase of development of this park, which will honor our city's rich African American heritage, including that of the Johnson brothers, during Black History Month. The vision for this park will resurrect the memories of the hard work and incredible accomplishments of the Johnson brothers and so many of Jacksonville's most talented and renowned citizens. Now I'm pleased to introduce Mayor Lenny Curry to share more details about Phase 1 of development for Lift Every Voice and Sing Park.
Good morning. It's great to be here with so many community leaders and partners dedicated to improving our community and recognizing our wonderful and diverse history. I want to recognize Council Vice President Newby is here today, as is Councilman Gaffney. Thank you for being here with us today. And I also want to extend gratitude and thanks to the Chartrand family for all of your generosity, specifically today, for investing in this most important project. As you all know, this month celebrates the many contributions of African Americans to communities throughout the history of the United States. Here in Jacksonville, we are fortunate to have a rich and diverse history. Unfortunately, this past isn't always recognized, which is one of the reasons I'm glad to see this project underway today. It was this month, 121 years ago, that the Johnson brothers performed Lift Every Voice and Sing at the old Stanton High School, just a short walk from here. Stanton was the first black school in Jacksonville, founded in 1868, where James Weldon Johnson attended and later returned as principal. La Villa has a long and storied legacy for our community. It once was the bustling cultural and economic hub for our entire city, and particularly our African American community. The vision of this park, in several projects and partnerships working together, is focused on revitalizing this historic neighborhood while recognizing its cultural importance. Today's ceremony kicks off Phase 1 of this park's development and will include two parts. Construction on Lee Street in the early spring this year that will tie the park to the Emerald Trail, and finalizing park design and engineering to prepare to bid the park for construction. When completed, Lift Every Voice and Sing will connect to a system of approximately 30 miles of urban trails, greenway, and linear park systems surrounding and connecting our urban core neighborhoods as part of the Emerald Trail project. The trail will connect 14 historic neighborhoods to downtown and bring millions in economic and green infrastructure to our urban core. I'm grateful to Groundwork Jacksonville and the many stakeholders, business leaders, and funders who are leading in supporting the development of the trail. And I see Lori Boria here today. Thank you for all of your work. Along with this park, there are so many things happening in La Villa, combined with Jacksonville Transportation's new Regional Transportation Center, the Emerald Trail, and new residential communities in the immediate area. La Villa is rising from the ashes to once again become a vibrant part of our community. Again, I'm grateful to be here with all of you today and to share this common vision and to see it through. I'll turn things back over to Mari now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Curry, for your leadership and commitment to this project. The vision for Lift Every Voice and Sing is the result of years of planning, meetings, and discussions with this community about how best to revitalize La Villa. Developing a park of this caliber is only possible because of the determination, collaboration, and support of individuals and organizations who truly believe in a more inclusive, equitable Jacksonville. I'd like to extend our gratitude to a few of them now. The park's champions at City Hall, Mayor Curry, Daryl Joseph, and Jill Enns from Parks and Rec, and Ivy, Councilman Reggie Gaffney, Councilman Sam Newby, Carol Alexander, a longtime Jacksonville native and former curator of the Ritz Museum, Walter Hood and the team at Hood Design, who unfortunately can't be here, Nat Ford, the CEO of JTA, Lori Boyer, the CEO of the Downtown Investment Authority, Jake Gordon, CEO of Downtown Vision, and Ennis Davis of the Jackson Magazine. And last, but perhaps most importantly, I'd like to recognize Lloyd Washington, President of the Durkeeville Historical Society. None of us would be here without Lloyd. As one of Jacksonville's most steadfast historians, he has been instrumental in reimagining a stronger La Villa that celebrates the neighborhood's past, present, and future. I'm pleased to welcome Lloyd to share his perspective on what this park can be for Jacksonville.
Good morning. I'd like to thank you for that kind invitation. I'm just amazed that this thing is here, to be perfectly honest with you, after being 12 years of working on this thing. I'd also like to thank the people who helped make this day come to fruition. It has been a long time. It's been interesting. But I would also like to give a special thanks to people who spurred me on to rebuild the future of La Villa. My interest in La Villa originally started with Rosamond Johnson. Everybody talks about James Weldon Johnson, but Dr. Carolyn Williams, historian professor at the University of North Florida, introduced me to J. Rosamond several years ago. I became an avid fan of the man, his work, and his accomplishments. I learned more about La Villa, especially because it was a part of the River City Renaissance in 1993. Then I learned that there were no plans to rebuild La Villa. So Councilman Warren Jones supported, educated, and helped me on this journey. And he was supposed to be here today, but I imagine he will get here if he can. I learned the lyrics of the hymn, Lift Every Voice and Sing, are very important to many people, including myself. Dr. Charles Maxwell, former music director for Second Missionary Baptist Church, broke the song down for me, and he taught me that the third stanza was a hymn. We learned from this that a hymn can take life itself. James Weldon Johnson wrote a beautiful poem. 5 years later, his brother set the poem to music, and it took a life of its own, and it has grown, changed, and is still growing today. La Villa has been dormant for a long time. In my travels, I've learned that people know about the Brothers Johnson and their contribution. People know more about Jacksonville history than we do, so that needs to change. I would like to see the whole La Villa come to life and have its voice of its own. You all here today make it possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd, for being here today and sharing your expertise on La Villa and all the years that you spent trying to make this dream a reality. And I want to also recognize Councilwoman Jacoby Pittman, who snuck in here while I wasn't looking. In addition to celebrating the next step in the design and development of Lift Every Voice and Sing Park, we're also here today to announce a formal fundraising campaign for this project. To share this information, I'm pleased to introduce Marty Lanahan, Regional President of Iberia Bank First Horizon for North, Central, and Southwest Florida. Marty is a trustee of our fund and served as the immediate past chair for the trustees. On behalf of the DuPont Fund, Marty is leading the private fundraising campaign to support the development of Lift Every Voice and Sing Park. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you. Thank you, Mari. And good morning, everyone. This is so exciting. As an organization committed to creating communities where every citizen feels like they belong, the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund believes inclusive community spaces like Lift Every Voice and Sing Park can truly help build a more vibrant future for our entire community. That is why we are so honored to partner with the City of Jacksonville and lead a private fundraising campaign to raise the additional capital needed to bring this park and future programming to life. The programming is going to be really important. It's also important for us to directly invest in a project that we thoroughly believe in, which is why the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund is also committing $1 million to support park development and programming. Thank you, Jacoby. This commitment is in addition to the $100,000 we have already contributed to the park planning process. To share more on our investment, I'm going to introduce Reverend Canon Eddie Jones, the current chair of the trustees and an Episcopal priest in the Diocese of Florida. He's joining us on video.
Thank you all for joining us to celebrate this major milestone for what will be an incredible community space in the heart of Jacksonville's most historic neighborhood. I have the good fortune to represent two organizations with connections to the Johnson brothers. As chair for the trustees of the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund, I'm proud that our organization, in working with so many other community partners and making this financial commitment to help make this project a reality. And as a priest in the Episcopal Diocese of Florida, the story of the Johnson brothers and of Lift Every Voice and Sing is a familiar one. James and Jay Rosemont's mother was an Episcopalian, and today many of our parishes use a hymnal by the name of Lift Every Voice and Sing. That history and the memories resurrected in the beautiful design of this park reminds us of the many more things that unite us than divide us. As Maury said, this day is only possible thanks to the commitment and generosity of our partners, including the City of Jacksonville and our Parks and Recreation Department. We are proud to work with our government on this project and many others to bring to life our shared future for the more inclusive Jacksonville. This project is a critical memorial to the lives, legacies, and accomplishments of many African American leaders and artists who helped shape Jacksonville's past, its present, and will shape the future. We're thrilled to commit $1 million to help ensure that this park is a place where all people, Jacksonville residents and visitors from all walks of life, feel that they belong. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to being together in the park in the future.
Next, I'm pleased to announce the contribution of a nationally renowned company with a hyper-local footprint. TIAA and TIAA Bank have committed $500,000 for park development and future programming activities that will provide for the revitalization and stabilization of La Villa in harmony with the spirit and intent of the Community Reinvestment Act. To highlight their commitment, I'd like to introduce a video with Corey Pauling, TIAA's Senior Vice President, Chief Inclusion and Diversity Officer, and Head of Corporate Social Responsibility. In this video, you will also hear from Roger Ferguson, TIAA's dynamic President and CEO.
Hello, my name is Corey Pauling, and I serve as TIAA's Chief Inclusion, Diversity, and Corporate Social Responsibility Officer. Along with the 1,400 associates of TIAA Bank in the Jacksonville community, we are so pleased to be a part of this important initiative. At TIAA, we are difference makers. We believe in inclusion, diversity, and corporate social responsibility as a corporate value for sure, but also as a business imperative. Let's hear from our CEO, Roger Ferguson, more about our leadership in this space.
One of the things that we have to recognize in the business world is there's more and more data that shows that diverse boards, diverse teams lead to better outcomes. And so as a CEO, you ought to say, this is not just the morally nice thing to do or right thing to do, it's a smart, savvy thing to do as well.
Last year at TIAA, we launched our call to action, Be the Change. It was a call to action to lead and to inspire, one to the other, to our clients and in our communities. Our partnership on the Lift Every Voice and Sing Park is part of that commitment. Let's hear more from Roger about what Be the Change means to us and what it will mean to the Jacksonville community.
Well, we started an activity in our organization called Be the Change, and it's focused on 4 things. First is change through understanding, and so we're trying to help everyone understand what racism looks like. The second is change through dialogue, and so we've had some internal town halls, we've had panel discussions, some are frankly, Susie, fairly raw and emotional, but to bring home the issue of what it is to confront racism both in a large sense and also in a smaller personal sense. The third pillar is change through leadership, where we actually are taking leadership activities and then change through action.
As Roger just challenged us, this is an opportunity to be the change. At TIAA Bank, we are pleased and we are grateful to have the opportunity to see Jacksonville both grow and advance through the Lift Every Voice and Sing Park. Congratulations.
Sorry, let me get back on my script. I'm so excited about where we are today. Thank you, Corey, Roger, and TIAA Bank CEO Steve Fisher for making this investment in La Villa. We're honored to have Carrie Dowd, TIAA's Bank's CRA officer, Paul Pugh, TIAA's Head of Brand Partnerships, and Audrin Francis, co-chair of TIAA's Bank's Empowered Business Resource Group here today representing TIAA's commitment. There they are, wave, thank you. Thank you again for being here. Very early in our fundraising discussions, one Jacksonville family listened to the vision for Lift Every Voice and Sing Park and immediately responded with a very generous commitment to help bring this park to reality. Today, I'm pleased to announce that the Chartrand family is investing $1 million into this project, which, right? I just got chills. Which includes commissioning a copy of Augusta Savage's renowned statue, Lift Every Voice and Sing the Harp. Thank you. Gary Chartrand will tell you why his family is so committed to this project, again on video.
My name is Gary Chartrand, and our family has been, very involved over the last 15 years in education reform. And so we felt that this project would be a wonderful way to honor 2 very famous people that came from Jacksonville that wrote the song. And not only just to make sure that we honor them, but also the neighborhood. So we thought it was a wonderful way to create a beautiful park where kids could learn about their history of the African American community and look at the African American history in a different way. We were moved to the point where we wanted to make a very large gift, so we have committed $1 million to the park. That includes the park as well as the Augusta Savage harp. I think it's important to celebrate multicultural communities for a number of reasons. One, we haven't always gotten it right in the past. In fact, I think our history is there to learn from, and we've made many, many mistakes. And quite frankly, I think those mistakes came from, if you will, a gap in the value of every human being. And, my faith teaches me that every human being should be treated with the utmost dignity, that we're all made in the image of God, and that we all should be valued equally. I think it's a great way for us to look at history and bring history forward so that we can be better as we strive for a more perfect union.
Yoo-hoo, it's right. We are honored to have Gary's wife Nancy and son Jeff here with us today representing the family. Thank you again. To date, we've raised $2.5 million in overall commitments for the park, over and above the $710,000 that's been allocated for the park. There is, however, a world of opportunity for more fundraising to honor this cultural, public, and private investment in this historic neighborhood of La Villa. Carol Alexander and I, my little partner in crime over there, might be tapping on some doors to start really taking the fundraising effort a little bit further. So be warned if you know we're going to come to you and ask for money. We're so grateful for TIAA Bank, the Chartrand family, and candidly the trustees of the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund who grabbed this vision when Maury and I presented it years ago for their investment in this park and the future of Jacksonville. Maury, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Marty. And we also have to recognize that Senator Tony Hill is here in the audience. There you are. Thank you for being here. And now, instead of a traditional groundbreaking ceremony, we're going to commemorate this important day by unveiling the first tree that'll be planted on this site. The tree has long been a powerful symbol of growth, resurrection, and transformation. There's no more fitting way to honor the future of this community space than with a tree that will eventually be planted, spread roots, and thrive on this historic site. The tree is being provided courtesy of Greenscape of Jacksonville and Liberty Landscape Supply. Following this event, it will be nurtured by Liberty Landscape Supply until it's ready to be replanted for real in the park. Now, before Mayor Curry and Lloyd formally unveil the tree, I'd like you to invite you to listen to the lyrics of Lift Every Voice and Sing as performed by Black Violin. Black Violin is a Florida-based hip-hop duo who put their own spin on the Johnson Brothers hymn. This video was generously provided for our use by Black Violin.
Lift every voice.
Now, if members of the media would please gather outside the tent in front of the curtain you see behind us for the final phase of our ceremony.